What is up? What is up, guys? Welcome to another live stream of Vibecoding software, day 9. So we are slowly but surely making progress. Um, if you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm Designer Malcolm. On this channel, I cover all things design, fashion related, and tech related. Right now, we are having a lot of fun. This particular live series, we're building software agentically. I am a product designer, so that's kind of my professional experience. And we have a software that we're working on, and it is quite fun. We have been making progress each day, and these live streams have been a fantastic way to showcase that. We are by no means expert developers here, but we are learning each day. I would say I'm a lot better than I was yesterday, and that's all that matters. I've been coding agentically for about a year and a half now. So I've spent a lot of time in working with these softwares, these frontier models, and quite familiar with it. So if you're joining us, I'm excited for you to hopefully learn some things. And then if you are experienced as well, please don't hesitate to chime in and provide some insider feedback. We're all here to learn. We are all here to grow together. So today, I think I'm going to do something a little different, just slightly different. Last night, I was working on kind of using the application. So let me show you guys what we got. So if you, if you're not familiar with this series, let me show you what we're building. Let me get this shared. Share screen. All right, we are building Open Enterprise. And Open Enterprise is the operating system for agentic companies. What is that? Well, if you are an entrepreneur, you want to run some sort of startup, or maybe you have an idea or a small business, we are the platform that you go to build an agentic version of that. Now, your company doesn't have to be fully agentic, but perhaps you want to start to integrate some AI in component in places of your company that you think would be beneficial, whether that gives you more time to focus on other things or it allows you to have better output, be more efficient. You build it on Open Enterprise, and that is what we are developing. We are creating this thesis around agentic organizations. So that's where we are kind of driving towards. We believe the future of companies and the future of businesses, small, medium, or large, they will be fully agentic. We do see a world where there will be companies that are entirely agentic, that are started by agents, that are run by agents. We're starting to see little inklings of that today. So we believe that this is going to be even more in the future, right? There's already AI influencers. There's already AI assistants. So we're not too far off from a world where AI will have, their own companies, their own organizations, their own SOPs. And if you want to be a part of that future, or if you want to create a company that lives within that kind of approach, you do it on Open Enterprise. Open Enterprise is an agnostic platform. So I'll just show you here where we're at. So we have, let's go with tests. And for those of you who are familiar with the series, just bear with me. I just want to make sure I catch people up who haven't been here. before or know what is going on. But you can essentially start your company, and we have a number of industries from gaming to AI studio to media to agency to SaaS. And our platform is, it should be looked at as, this is a, I'm honestly like adding a Jarvis, right? I love that term Jarvis for Iron Man. Adding a Jarvis to your idea or to your already existing company where you have agents working within your organization, how you see fit. So that's what we're doing here on this particular live stream. We are on a mission to create 1 million entrepreneurs with agentic businesses. We have a couple cool ideas that I tossed around yesterday. Giving a company away one a month, right, for 7 months, or doing some live builds of building companies on Open Enterprise. But let's go to the mission control. So where we left off was we had a few issues that we faced, and this particular live stream is going to be part kind of agentic coding and enhancing the platform. But I also want to start thinking about marketing. This software is probably less than 2 weeks old, and I think it's important to really start to position this this tool in the marketplace. Start to think about who our ICP is. Start to put out content, and really try to start driving awareness into the Open Enterprise platform. We are built on top of, I'm proud to say this, we are built on top of OpenClaw. So think of this as we have OpenClaw as the engine with our own proprietary frameworks and coding innovations layered on top. So similar to how you have Ethereum as a layer one, and then on top of that, you have a bunch of companies that built on top of Ethereum. Or another example is how you had VS Code, which was a IDE, which is open source by Microsoft. And then you have companies like Cursor who built on top of that, added their layer, added their own features and functionalities to that. That's how I like to say we are. So OpenClaw, if you're not familiar with it, huge breakthrough in this space. And it's essentially a very complex, robust RAG system or RAG technology. And I'll explain to you guys what RAG is. So RAG is retrieval augmented generation. And it enables LLMs to essentially retrieve and incorporate new information from external data, as what it is. And so you can look at OpenClaw as like the premier version of this. So what that means is you have your LLM, which is connected to OpenClaw, right? And in this case, in our case, in Open Enterprise, and you have your agents. And so let me go ahead and pull up our little agents we have here. So you have your agents. Let's go here. And let's see. Defaults to the wrong. I got to delete that. This is a test company. So you have your agents here. And each one of these has this kind of RAG system, this RAG framework built in where they can go retrieve, right? They can go retrieve and then have this augmented generation technique that enables them to essentially incorporate new information from external data. And that external data could be anything from applications such as Shopify, Meta ads. And so we've built that and you have that baked in. So what makes us special is we approach this agentic space from an organizational lens. And what I mean by that is what you're seeing here in the space is a lot of linear relationships with agents, right? It's, hey, I am a small business owner and I need an agent to handle my emails, right? So it's a lot of requesting, and then you request you request what you need to the agent, or you prompt it rather. That agent goes and uses a tool to complete request or to complete prompt, and then you get um, your results back, right? Whether that be in the form of like a finished task, the email being sent, whatever, right? That is very common. You have entire businesses built off of that, and we love that, and that we think that's fine. But we think that's a very small, limited way to think about AI, and so we're interested in exploring how these these systems, these agents can work together in an organizational structure. So we're very much positioned for the entrepreneur, for the business owner, for the person who wants to create a company or who has a company, right? Because eventually there's parts of your organization that you may want to, turn into an agentic um, component, right? You may want to fully, um, and I hate the word autonomous, but it is probably suitable or appropriate for this. But um, this level of autonomy you want for a specific section in your business, right? Whether that be the marketing sector or the sales or the design or the finance. And so you can do that on Open Enterprise, right? And the way we structure our agents is very intentional. When you first sign up, you get a CEO. And this is what sets us apart, because we want you to think about building your company. So you get a CEO. And then from there, your CEO is going to hire what it feels it needs to accomplish the said task or the mission. And so as you see here, what's kind of cool is you're going to see live firsthand. I'm setting up an organization to run Open Enterprise. So it's kind of meta. I love this. So as you see, we have the CEO of Meta. We've had a few conversations back and forth, and he felt it was important to uh, come up with, or to create, a head of growth agent, a head of product agent, and a head of customer success agent. And these are all kind of developed from the conversations we had, the initial onboarding experience, and me kind of establishing what my goals are with Open Enterprise. So we set you up like that, right? I like to say this is the future of how companies will be created, and this is how the future of how companies will be started. So through this development, we've discovered, or I've discovered, a lot of things, right? A lot of specific nuances to get this system to work the way that I want. And a lot of that has been discovered because of how it's currently working. And we have a few, and you can go and check this out. It's on agenticfounder.org. That is my research journal. But one of the things we've noticed is there's a few missing pieces that are lacking, right, in the current landscape of working with agents. And one of those is how do you successfully get agents to work in an organization? And so we've developed this concept of implementing the organizational heartbeat. And this is actual code that we're working and developing, and we're testing this idea of our discipline stack. And you can go read about that in my research journal on agenticfounder.org. I will probably end up turning that into a newsletter at some point, completely free. I'm not here to sell you anything. I do want you to use Open Enterprise, and that's all we really care about. But when it comes to the game, the knowledge, the sauce, I'm going to give that to you for free. I'm never going to be a guru out here that's going to charge you for a course or charge you for a Discord. We want stuff to be available to everybody. But obviously, if you want to use Open Enterprise, we would love that because we want to see you start an agentic business. So we talk about these different frameworks and concepts, and the beautiful thing is I get to test that inside of Open Enterprise, our software. So you're going to see us develop and evolve over time, and this make this product an amazing product. So last night, and here's just I love pointing this out. It's one of my favorite parts of this is just seeing our little agents walk around. This is paying homage to the Zelda days, the Pokemon days that I used to play as a kid. Obviously, we're going to evolve this, make this better, probably offer different types of views. But right now, I think this is appropriate. This just makes it feel like there's actual something is you give it gives a personality, or it gives a character, assigns a character to your AI. So last night we had a few bugs that we were working through, and I think I kind of want to back up a little bit. The goal for this video, I really want to focus on two things, as I mentioned, and that is um, that is where am I at? My train of thought. Um, Marketing. Wow, we want to focus on marketing, and we want to focus on obviously building and improving the product, but marketing is really important. Right now we have a what's it called? We do have a wait list. So I'm waitlisting it. We have about 500 seats. This is because this allows us, and I highly recommend this. It allows us to build up excitement for the product. It allows us to really pressure test, right? So rather than have 1,000 people hop on here and try and use the tool, we're able to slowly onboard people. So the people that pay, because we don't offer a free tier. Now, for our waitlisters, we are going to do something very generous. I will probably do something pretty generous. Like I think I might take a page out of Shopify's book, and it might be like, $1 a month for 3 months or something like that. That's we're still kind of working through that, and that's just to show love and support. But when people are paying for your product, you want to make sure that you can mitigate as much friction and kind of eliminate as much friction as you can. It's not going to be perfect, but one of the things we do know is by kind of gating the availability and only letting so many users on at a time, it'll help us or me. I am a solo founder with my CEO and my development team. It'll help me manage that much better. So we really need to focus on marketing. And I do have a couple ideas, and I want to kind of jump into those and experiment with those ideas today. And so I believe, let's see, I believe that's where we're at. So we're going to address a few bugs, and then we're going to work on a little bit of marketing, and I think that'll put us in a good spot. But before I before we get started, I do got to jump real quick. So I'm going to be right back, and shouldn't be too long. So I'll catch you guys in a few minutes. I got to go take care of something real quick. All right, we're back. We're back. We're back. Yeah. So where did I leave off at? All right. Yeah. Today, half marketing, half design, half vibe coding. So let's see. Where do we leave off at? Hmm. All right. So last night I got the ability. I had the opportunity rather to kind of play around with my agent, and we'll call them. We're no longer calling these guys agents. We're going to call them by what they are. So my CEO, and we had an interesting discussion. Now, part of what's going to make this whole application work the way we need it to is it's an infrastructure thing as well as a permissioning thing with our software. So my idea is we want our agent. So right out of the bat, the agent comes with a set of tools that it can access just by default, right? So it can access a lot of things. It can search the web. It can, you know, like connect to Discord or Telegram. Oh, and real quick, we do have a Discord for Open Enterprise. So if you want to help out with that, if you want to help moderate that, I'm totally down to connect with you. So just shoot me a DM or a message if you're interested. You want to be a part of that. Also, we definitely we're looking for moderators on, for comments right now. It's early days. It's day 9. We don't have anybody really, but as we grow, if you want to kind of help with that and you're really supportive about what we're building, let me know and we'll get you connected. Also, you might get hooked up. We might hook you up with something. So, but we had a conversation, and the nice thing is where we're at with Open Enterprise is you can talk to your agent right now. And the nice thing is this is all in the cloud, so it's super fast. It's always available. As with people who are more like diehards, I guess, or day ones of using the Claw instances, they prefer to install it locally. I think that's great. I think there's a use for that. I think there's a certain person who benefits from that. So you can have both, right? Or it's not one or the other. So as I was talking with the agent, I had him. The cool thing is about having the CEO agent within this application, he was able to kind of audit his abilities. And the problem we're having right now, which we're going to fix today, is we need our agent to have access to all of the tools in here. And currently he has read and write access. This is awesome. He told me last night that he could do certain things, but he was writing these to his own code base, and he wasn't. So he was giving me a false positive. And so as I was in my bed, just kind of chatting with him, he was letting me know what he needs. And so we're going to copy all this and literally paste it into Cursor and have him fix this, because part of having a CEO in your pocket is you need visibility into what your CEO is doing, especially if you're starting a company on Open Enterprise. And so some of the main tools that we're going to have him, that not only him, but the whole team needs access to, is this roadmap tool. So what is a roadmap tool, right? Well, we have our strategy, hopefully by the end of this year, is we want to hit 50K MRR with Open Enterprise. And right now, like, none of this is fully fleshed out, and I didn't want to flesh it out. It's like, he's the CEO. So he doesn't have the ability to write this out, right? To create milestones. These milestones, why these are important is because as milestones get developed and they have, you have milestones inside of a phase, those milestones become workroom items. So as you see, we're setting this up for future entrepreneurs to have a really smooth flow with an organization. Like, this is how companies work, right? So you have your bigger picture, which is your roadmap, and then that roadmap, each phase gets broken down into little mini milestones. But see, not me, he needs to do this. I don't want to do this. And so we have a couple problems here. He can create tasks. So he was able to create tasks. He created all these. but he can't run them or update them or move them along in this process. So we're on a mission today to give him full read and write access. So that way, instead of me coming in and checking up on his work, I can just from a high level go in the workroom. I can see what's being worked on, see what's in our backlog, and remember everything is moving towards this goal of 50K MRR, and this is the goal for Open Enterprise. So it's kind of cool once the world catches on to the stuff we're building. Is I'm building a agentic organization to manage and grow the company that I built. So that way, all I have to do is look at the roadmap and the workroom and see where we're at. The other thing is a big problem with OpenClaw, and they're slowly solving it, but with these agents is memory. So we've baked a whole memory tool inside of this application. And right now, I need him to have access to this as well. This is like the single source of truth for our entire company, right? Projects, areas, resources. And as he works with me more, he should be updating this in real time. And then as a founder, you can come in and be like, okay, let me see what where we're at. So we need to make sure our CEO has access to this. And we have this really cool graph. I geek out over this thing. I love this. It's called a D. I think it's called a D force. Let me see. I should know this. DF. D. Graph. Memory. Hold on. I should know this. No. Let's remove memory. Yeah, I think it's called D3 force graph. Is a process of creating dynamic interactive data. Yeah. Okay. So what we've done was we created this D3 force directed graph, which is essentially it makes data interactive and visualize. It makes it an interactive visualization inside of the browser. So I think that's what it is. Yeah, D3. Yeah, it's JavaScript. And so this is what this is. And it's supposed to show relations. And you can also click. So we want to update that. Definitely want to improve that. But you can view your knowledge graph, your memory graph. Point is, this is like beside the point. We want to have, he needs access to this. And then he needs access essentially to everything, right? He should be able to change this between models, hire and fire. He can currently hire. And then obviously he needs access to the marketplace. So install skills, remove skills. Oh, another thing we want to do is we want to improve Marty, our auditor. So we'll add him to the team where, essentially what I want to do with Marty is give him the ability to go out and search for new skills and new tools and create them and add them to our database. So you'll always have new skills, new personas, applications, like doing research. So that is important, but that's not top of mind right now. We'll slowly improve that as we move on. So that is what we're going to try and achieve today. So like, let's look at this. Another thing I want to highlight is we do plan to roll out with what we call the Boardroom mobile app. And this is essentially this component of Open Enterprise, which is arguably the most important part. And that's where you just can communicate with your team. And we allow you to bring that into your pocket on a mobile app form. And I believe we also have the memory in there as well. So if we come in here, let's see where we're at. So what I'm going to do is just copy all of this and see what Cursor can do here for us. And one way I like to I don't really like to type if I don't have to, especially working with agents. So I'm gonna open up a chat GPT. I use the voice dictation tool in chat GPT. It's amazing. Is it the best? I don't care. I just don't want to pay for an extra tool like Whisperflow or whatever when you already have a pretty great dictation tool. If you have a ChatGPT, I think you don't even need ChatGPT. That's a hack. If you want a cool dictation tool, you can use it on a free ChatGPT account. You don't need to pay for Whisperflow or any of that. I guess if you want a more native experience for your device, but for what I need it for, I don't really need it. So I'm gonna launch this, and I gotta look at what he kind of said here. And I think this is the future of. I know this is the future of building software because people are already building software this way. But I'm for the camp who doesn't want to look at a terminal, who doesn't want to spawn up a bunch of Claude codes. That's not who this product is for. It's power to them. Claude code is great, but we're trying to we're approaching building companies and even building software from a different approach, right? It's conversation, right? I mean, think about it in an organization. I always tie this back to an organization. How often does the CEO or board go and sit next to the developer and look at the developer screen and watch them code? No, you have a roadmap, you have phases, and you have milestones. Those milestones are usually connected to some sort of deliverable. And as the CEO or as the board or whatever, you expect the deliverables with an explanation. And if it should work how it's intended to, and if it's not, goes back to the drawing board. So that is what we're building. So it's important to know that like Open Enterprise is not another Claude code. It's not another Cursor. We're different, right? I don't want to say we're more or less, but we're an agentic organization tool for agentic businesses. So your agent inside of Open Enterprise can connect to Claude or connect to Shopify and go out and do the work for you in those applications and report back to you or report back to your CEO. Like to me, that is like, why aren't more people thinking like this? And I believe we are in a great position here because we got the branding, we got Open Enterprise AI. Love that name. And it says what its name explains what we do. And I think we've really dialed in our UI and our onboarding, and we have this unique 8-bit experience. So I wanted to just kind of talk about that. And I say that because as you guys are building things, think about those little unique form factors, those special touches that you can add to your application that make it unique. Maybe that is improving on an existing framework, right? Maybe it's the onboarding experience. Wherever you're like, however you're building or whatever you're building, think about that stuff all the time because the great equalizer is anyone can build an app right now. That is an equalizer. But can you build something that's quality? And I say design is important, but then also can you market that and distribute that? That's the next part of the pie. So if you can do both of those, you're gonna win. So anyway, let's kind of analyze here. So I told him, okay, check this. I said, I need you to form a coding audit now. I'm not sure if you have access to our repository. Yeah, so he did that. Another thing we need to fix here is, so we have this ability to, let me see. I want to make sure I don't fumble. So right now we have this ability to, okay, yeah. Yeah, so right now we have this ability to connect repositories, and I tried to connect mine the other day and it shows it was connected, but it wasn't an official connection. So we want to make sure we set this up to work. And right now we do Git, GitLab, and Bitbucket. So that's important. What this does is it allows you, if you're coding, if you're building software, it allows you to your agents to interact with the repo, create PRs. PR is a pull request. If you're not familiar with this and you're like trying to build SaaS, these are some things you should be very aware of. So when you build SaaS, you have what's called version control, and then you have what's called and I'll show you right here. So you have what's called a CI/CD pipeline, and that's an essential workflow, right? And essentially, what it means it's an automated workflow that guides software from code creation through building, testing, and deployment to production. And those pipelines can be these pipeline tool is like GitLab or GitHub, um, and these allow you to really one. It's a home for your code. It allows for version control. And so, why it's important that we have this set up is, for people who are building software with Open Enterprise, you want to be able to connect your repo here or your repository, and then once it's connected, your coding, your CTO or your dev team can start to work and improve on the application and create PRs, run checks and balances. And so we need to fix this integration so that users can connect their GitHub as well, should they build software with Open Enterprise. So let's see, let's keep moving on. So we're in approvals. This next thing we want to look at too is the approvals queue. So we need to make sure we're thinking about the logic here. From first glance or from the first iteration of this, we were essentially this would be a place where like sensitive actions that required human in the loop would go. I do believe this could be something a little more and improved on, and we need to think about what this approval queue could be. This could be also deliverables, right? So anything that the agent has completed, whether it be designs or the website or the app, it could kind of live here. So we need to think about that, and I think that's important as well. And diagnostics. Oh, that's sick. When was this? Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. So I didn't know we did this. Oh, that's dope. So I must have had this in. Okay, so the way that's sick. All right. This is like an observability tool, which is important, right? So observability is a big like a big buzzword right now, or a big buzz term within AI agents in particular. And so what that means is it gives you like visibility into the quality of work that your agent is doing. And we just had that. I had that built and I didn't even know it. I had a plan. I must have executed it. But what's sick about this is it tells you what's going on, what's going on. So right here we got prompt exposed, 100 all registered, canonical policy, persistent tools, time services, and net prompt injections. You get some prompt injections. That's working. don't be scared by prompt injection. This is in-app. So like when I prompt it, is that working, right? OE MCP surfaces. So this is our MCP surface. So I gotta look at that, make sure we're chilling there. So these are some missing tools. This is pretty sick. Um, these tools are in the canonical policy, but not persisted on this agent. So this is back to what I was talking about, a lot setting up our agent to have access to all of this. So look, this is like read and write stuff, right? So it can roadmap, create, roadmap, add phases, add milestones, update, delete. So there's 19 of these we need. And then all of this current stuff is gated by autonomy level. So a lot of delete stuff here and approve, reject. So these are pretty strong tasks that you would let your agent do, and we've gated them to a degree. So I want to look into this a little more. And then these are all persistent tools. Team status agent. So this is what it could currently do. This is pretty cool. So you could run a diagnostic. We're definitely going to want to improve on this as well. And then I think what I might do, just for some sauce, I might tease the exchange. Like we're creating the best damn agentic entrepreneur platform for you guys. Like this is for the kid who's in this basement. This is for a college kid who's in class. Is like, damn, I'm trying to get out here and make a bag. Like, I don't want to be up in this classroom. You could pop on over to Open Enterprise, start a company. Start a company and run it from your pocket. You don't need a tech guy. You don't even need a designer. You just need an idea and some grit and some hustle, and you can do it here on Open Enterprise. Hey, if you don't want to start a full-on company, we have in our marketplace, you just want to build stuff, we have our apps, and you can come in here and you can apply for early access and build apps, sell apps on Open Enterprise. So look, we're for the people. We're for the future generation. People say, oh, AI is going to take jobs and we're scared. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Don't be a puh. Be a king, right? Be a queen. Be confident. Be confident in your ideas and execute. If you fail, this is like, honestly, this is probably like my 20th product that I've built. I've built so much shit. So look, and don't message me in here talking about how do I stay motivated? How do I like, look, if you can't figure that out, you need to go get potty trained. We don't want no punks in here asking like how to stay motivated. Like you either want it or you don't. So anyway, I want to just put some energy in you guys. Like, let's go, let's lock in. And I'm going to give you all the sauce I can. When I learn new stuff, you learn new stuff. No paid course, none of that guru shit. I'm just going to give you guys the raw sauce. So this is cool. Anyway, I might have it build the exchange. I think we're going to do that tonight. So we got a lot to do. And I think we can knock it out pretty fast without any bugs. We're going to execute on the exchange. And then we need to give this guy, our CEO, full access to the tools. So let's go back here. I'm going to boot up some cursor and we're going to lock in. So a tip with cursor, is if you're building any kind of new feature or new functionality, you really want to start off. I highly recommend starting off with the plan mode, right? Plan mode is great. It allows the AI to think first before executing on any code. So back to where we were, I was talking, I had my ChatGPT open. I get that's the beautiful thing about live, no edits. Oh, real quick, just so you guys know, this isn't BS, and we're gonna keep it live here. I'm gonna keep it fully transparent. I'm not gonna show everything, but we're gonna keep track of the growth with Open Enterprise. So let me just show you guys this. And shout out to my boy Smooch Media. Smooch Media is out here getting it. This great company. They just dropped an amazing app called Open. Go check that out. Get open.app. Get outside. All of our events, all of the things we decide to do as a community in open enterprise, you can find it on Open. We have our first Open on the map, baby. It's a meetup here on the East Coast. I'm not gonna tell you where it is. You got to go on Open to figure it out. But I will add that link to the bio so you can join. It's a free meetup. Um, and I plan on, I'll probably have some. Hey, you know what? In the spirit, in the spirit of the claw, come to the place where the lobster was born, right? New England, baby. That's where we're at. We're over in New England, baby. So come to the Open Claw meetup and actually get real claw, right? The real claw from the Atlantic. So we got that event. It should be fun. I'm gonna actually change the date. So I had the date, I think like next month, but I'm gonna give it through the summer. So it'll probably be sometime in late August, early September. But add that to your calendar if you're here on the East Coast. Come connect with me. Let's talk. But anyway, just so you know, we are live in the flesh. This is where we're at. MRR, no BS. And actually, this was support from my boy, my friend, the founder of Smooch Media, my first customer. You know, start with friends and family. He's a believer, and he's using Open Enterprise to manage his media empire and app building empire. So, look, if you want to get on our level, like I said, dial in with us, man. Go check out getopen.app. That's getopin.app. I'll drop a link in the description so you can come to our first meetup. So check this out. So this is where we're at. 50 MRR, baby. 50 MRR. So watch the growth, watch the throne. And you guys could do it too. You guys could do this too. So we are at a humble 50 MRR. So this means every month I got $50 coming in on this tool. And you know what? It's not even live yet. So that says a lot. So let's get back to focus here. So we need to dial it back in and pull up we're going to pull up the window, share that. Let's close that. All right. So we have Cursor open. And so I'm going to hop on over here to, and actually, I don't know if I want to, hold on. Let's see. I think I want to share this instead. Trying to figure out what to share with you guys. Yeah, maybe Cursor is better because that's where we're going to be at. All right, so we got Cursor pulled up. Now I'm going to pop on over here to my workflow. This is my workflow. So if you want a workflow hack, I keep it super simple. You'll never see me have 30 workspaces open. I think that's goofy. I'd rather have 30 agents that look like Pokemon characters working for me. I don't want to look at a terminal. We're not anti-terminal. We're not anti-CLI, but we're all about improving the workflow and utilizing the workflow that makes sense to you. So what makes sense to me is talking to a Pokemon looking like character in a chat and telling them what I need done. That makes sense to me. But as you know, I still got it. I'll hop in the trenches. Don't get me wrong, I love Cursor. I'll probably spend like I could spend like 12 hours a day, 12, 13, 14 hours a day inside of Cursor. Cursor's amazing. But I think the big sell for me with Cursor is they do have this native agent experience. So that really helps. All right, enough fooling around. So we got two things we got to do. So what I like to do is come over here into my OpenAI account and use their dictation tool. And as I do this, like listen to what I'm saying, and you can pick up how I communicate. So let's just recap before I start to talk. He needs access to some tools. So boost up tool access. So if you want tools to always be there, you need persistent capability. Okay. So he's given me a few things, and I'm going to copy all of this and paste it into the Cursor anyway. So he said yes. No, that's not what we're looking at. I'm just going over our conversation we had yesterday to really highlight some of the main call outs he gave me with regards to him having full tool access. So, all right. So I had my open enterprise agent audit the tools it had access to. A couple of things we need to really dial in here is, remember, the goal is to make sure that our open enterprise agents have full access to every tool imaginable inside of open enterprise. And it needs to have more than just read access, but these tools should be connected and have persistence, and they should be accessible to like the registry and not be confined to just a specific chat runtime, but always accessible. Because at the moment, what we're noticing is I can tell my agent to, create a calendar event, and it says it does it, but it doesn't fully complete, and that work that it says it does not show up on the front end UI as I expect. Okay, so let's stop there. Another thing he said I thought was interesting. So I'm right now working on this prompt, trying to. So I'm going to read a little bit of what he told me into the dictation tool. So okay, so he said, yeah, you're right. This means I still don't execute. What happened? I had the company tool instructions and context. I do not have callable tools in the real tool API available to this. Okay, I should have verified. Okay, so let's see. Just from at a glance, it looks like our agent does not have callable tools in the real tool API. So this API needs to be improved. However it should be, so that our agents can call on these tools, right? It can call on tools. So he said it can call on tools like read, write, edit, cron, memory search, sessions messaging tools, but it can't call on open enterprise company object tools from this tool API. So it seems to me that there's a few, there's a different API. So really dig deep into this, and we don't want to limit the API, but we want to expand upon it, right? And as a matter of fact, I want you to find the best case moving forward, because we want our agent to have the tools it already has access to, but in addition, it needs to have access to all of our open enterprise tools, right? Not just read access. So I'm going to paste the entire conversation. It ran an audit, and I'm going to put you in plan mode, create a plan around making this fully functional to where we can, I can ask my agent to do whatever I needed to do inside as well. It also, in this plan, we need to tighten up the repository connector. So in settings, we have the ability as a user to, let's see, to connect repositories, but this is a false connection. It doesn't actually connect anything. It shows it as connected, but in reality, nothing was confirmed. There was no OAuth of whatsoever. And when I asked my agent if he can connect to the repos, it says it can read it, but it doesn't really connect. So that's essential, because we want our agents to be able to interact with the code base, make changes, and do PRs. So let's start there. And just a heads up, guys, it's quite all right if you get a little bit windy, a little chatty on the dictation tool, because if you put it in plan mode, it'll distill the important parts of that. And then usually what I love about Cursor is it'll sometimes spit back some questions for you if you need. Hey, I'm gonna see if my boy, I'm gonna copy and paste this, and I'm gonna see if my boy wants to hop in on the live chat. So you guys just bear with me here. I'm gonna go off screen and give him a call. But first, let's do one thing at a time. I get a little hectic sometimes, or unfocused. So let's paste this. Let's get one thing done at a time. Then I'll hit my boy up. He'll come online. He'll talk about his stuff. And then, all right, so we're going to come in here. I think what I'm going to do here, guys, is I'm going to go GPT 5.4. And I'm going to have GPT 5.4 do this. I'm not an Opus 4 glazer. We don't glaze over here. I believe if you're using any of the frontier models, you're in good shape. Google, Anthropic, OpenAI, they're all solid. They're all solid. They all like have their what they're really good at. But I've been very impressed with GPT 5.4. If you're in yesterday's episode, I had this big issue with accessing the mission control, and it took it a while, but it worked. It was like a really challenging coding problem that I was very impressed. There's a lot of broken API issues, proxy issues, and GPT 5.4 did its thing. So shout out to the team over at OpenAI. I've been an OpenAI subscriber, but I'm not a glazer. But they definitely, this model is tough. It's tough. So anyway, we have this pasted. So I'm going to go over to the boardroom app, not boardroom app, but the boardroom chat that I had with the team, with the C-suite team. Man, I can't wait to see some of you young people out here, or young or old, it doesn't really matter, but 18 years old, 20 years old, whatever, with a CEO running it up, man. I'm here to support you guys. You can call me Unc. I've been around for a minute, so I love you guys. I want to see the next generation really succeed. You guys are the future. You guys are on your phones all the time. You guys are really dialed into the sauce, what's happening. And I'm trying to build software for you guys to make it happen. So, you know, let's get out here and get it together. Let's win. All right, so I'm in if you don't know what I'm looking at right now, the I'm in the chat that I had, and I'm just gonna, it might be overkill, but who cares? Because it can handle it. I'm going to copy and paste our message. What are you doing? Yeah, so we're just gonna copy all of this. Damn it. Okay, we're copying all this into the chat. Okay. Here is the chat dialogue. Okay. Let's just paste that in there. And then we're going to hit send. We're going to send that. We're going to let that cook. So that's cooking. And then I need to hop on over here to the commit tree. And then there's actually a plan here that we need to execute on. So that I want to show you guys. Full agent parity, work gap analysis. It should be around here somewhere. Vault memory, next steps, observability, exchange. Okay, so we're gonna launch this too, guys. Really pumped about this. So this is the exchange page. And so this, okay, I'm building out the exchange page as well. So we're gonna have them cook on that. And this is, I'm excited to show, we'll see this tonight. So while these cook, I'm getting a plan made here, and then yeah, we're gonna be in good shape here. So let's see. Okay, we'll pop that back. Okay, so we have 2 agents going right now, and I think that's enough. I mean, that's all my computer can handle. So while it does that, I'm gonna pop on over here, and we are going to. What was the other thing we're gonna look at? Oh, I'm gonna hop off. Not hop off, but while we let these agents cook, I'm gonna hit up my buddy to see if he's trying to hop on and talk a little bit. So I'll be right back.
Studio sessions, Vibecoding.
What up? What up?
I must be muted. What's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
What up, guys? So we are live with the founder of GetOpen.app. Yeah, man. How's it going, bro? How's it been? Just coding with AI. How's that been going for you?
Um, I'm not a coder, so but I'll tell you what, OpenClaw and Claude, Anthropic models, they're my friends, you know, and now my employee.
Nice.
And
Nice.
so I don't need to know all that code, and it's going pretty well. I would say it's going pretty well. Just a little. I don't know where this is going, but Open, just to promote Open, this is like a 10-year brain baby. I had this idea 10 years ago, but just didn't have the knowledge or tools to do it. So with the help of you, I was able to actually do it. So um, yeah, thanks, bro. Thanks.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, guys, this my boy, man. We've been in the trenches together since day one. And damn, I'm trying to pull up open here. So let's see. Yeah, he built all this in a couple days. So hold on, dude. Do you have the ability to share your screen? Does it let you?
From this, let me see. Let me see. Share screen. What do you want me to show them?
Well, I'm just on open right now. I was gonna show him some open. Let me see. If not, it's all good.
Let me see if I could. Yeah, I mean, if I'm able to share my own screen, I could walk the people through Open.
Hold on one second.
Hmm. Let's see.
Damn, I
What's
got
up?
a I got a family emergency. I actually got to go take care of, dude.
Hey, I hope everything's okay.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
Thank you for sure.
All right, man. I'm gonna.
Talk to you
I'll dial in with you later. All right.
for sure.
All right.
Later, bro.
Later.